this one, we're doing area shared by a curve. So if it's area shared by a curve, a lot of times with those we have to break it up into two integrals. So if I want to know, and they were nice enough to kind of give us our bounds, we're going from 0 to pi, and we know that this is pi over 2. So if I want to know the area characterized from 0 to pi, this area, which curve am I using?
3 minus 2 sine 2 theta.
Okay, I'm using the non-circle curve. So I'm going to integrate from 0 to pi over 2, 1/2, the non-circle curve. 3 minus 2 sine 2 theta squared. Are we all cool with that? So that will give us the area to the right. How do I find the area to the left? Yes.
Pi over 2 pi, 1/2 pi over 2 pi of 3 squared.
Okay?
Pi over 2 pi.
That's what I said.
Yeah, come on.
That's what I wrote. You cannot prove otherwise.
There's an undo button.
Yes. Okay. Very good. Jimmy brought up, again, you're talking while I'm talking. It's a big no-no. Jimmy brought up a good point. This is just a quarter of a circle with a radius of 3. So instead of doing this integral, I could have also just did 1/4 pi r squared. These two are congruent, or equal, rather. Yes?
So why don't we have the second, or the third and fourth quadrants? Just because the picture doesn't say that, there's nothing in the word problem indicates that.
Well, it tells us that the graph goes from, we're looking at from 0 to pi. That's all we're looking at.
Okay.
So it kind of defined it here. Okay? Any other questions? All right, so that was A. Again, I think that would probably be worth about 2 points, probably 1 for the integral and 1 for the answer. All right, for part B, they ask us to find the value of dx d theta. Notice that question comes up a lot, that you have to find, write it in rectangular form. So what is x equal to? R cosine theta. In this case, r is equal to 3 minus 2 sine 2 theta cosine theta. So to find dx d theta, I just find the derivative of this I can find the derivative using product rule, and I evaluate that at pi over 6. Now, you can also do this on your calculator. Do you know how to do it on your calculator? In rectangular mode, in function mode. Put this in y1. Make sure you put parentheses around all of 3, double parenthesize this, if you will. Okay? Put parentheses around that, put that in y1. Then go to the main screen and just take the derivative of y1, evaluating it at pi over 6. And I got negative 2.366. Okay?
Wait, what do you put Y2?
Nothing.
Oh.
Just y1. Then go to your main screen and go to math, in derivative. Take the derivative with respect to x. Take the derivative with respect to x. Put in y1, and then for theta, for x, put in pi over 6.
Okay.
Okay, can we all do that on our calculator?
It is negative 2.36?
Yes,
Oh.
there's a negative there.
You got it.
For part B,
Yes.
so now you should, I calculated that.
Okay. All right. Let's come back to the light, people. Let's go to C. I would say that this one's probably, again, 2 points. 1 point for writing it in terms of X, and 1 point for the answer.
If I wrote like dr d theta cosine theta minus r sine theta and then plugged in all the stuff, but I still get credit because I get the same answer.
Did you do, so you wrote X is equal to R cosine theta, and then when you took the derivative, you did product rule, or you just put it in the
I mean,
calculator?
like, I already know the formula for the dy dx, so I just took the dx d theta part,
Uh-huh.
which is the dr d theta times cosine theta, all that stuff in the numerator.
So you use the fact that dy dx is equal to dy d theta over dx d theta. You can, yeah, that works as well. It's a little bit more cumbersome, but it works. All right, for C, they want us to find the distance between the two curves from 0 to pi over 2. How do we find the distance between those two curves? Don't overthink it. Very good. And from 0 to pi over 2, the circle is on top, so that would go top. So that would be, the distance would be 3 minus 2 sine 2 theta. That's the distance. So how do I find how fast that distance is changing? I take the derivative. So I'm going to take the distance with respect to theta. The 3 zero out, and I end up with negative 4 cosine 2 theta. Is my math right?
Yeah.
And I'm evaluating that at pi over 3.
Yeah.
And I think, just from looking at my notes, that that is negative 2. You got positive 2? Was this negative?
Yeah, because cosine of 2 pi over 3.
Cosine of 2 pi over 3 is negative.
It'd be negative 4 times negative.
So maybe I just wrote it wrong?
Yeah, you're right.
Yes. Because x is equal to r cosine theta. And they wanted dx d theta. Okay, are we ready for D? I would think that that would be 2 points, 1 for writing the distance formula and 1 for finding the derivative. So I think it's like 2 points. How many points we have so far? 6? That means this last one would be worth 3 points. So I don't think that that last one would be worth quite 3, so there's probably a point somewhere in here somewhere that I'm missing. All right, so for D, they want us to find d theta dt. Now, there are a couple of different ways of doing that. What I did, well, there's a couple of different ways of doing all of this, but what I did was I just took the derivative of this with respect to t. So I did dr dt is equal to 3 still is 0, so negative 4 cosine 2 theta times d theta dt. And there's probably a point for that. Then they tell us d theta dt, do they not? Yeah. And they tell us theta, so then I get this is equal to negative 1. Now, Kush, how did you do this one? He did it differently. How did you do it?
So basically, I defined dr over d theta, or dr over dt as dr over d theta times d theta over dt.
Dr over d theta divided by dr dt? What did you say?
No, the dr over d theta times d theta over dt is
Okay.
equal to dr over dt.
Okay. And we had dr d theta. Was that given to us? Or we had figured that out from before? You still had to calculate dr d theta?
Yeah,
Okay.
d theta over dt was given.
Okay, so this is 3, and then we had to calculate, you had to calculate dr dt at that point, which is basically the exact same thing that we did.
Yeah.
Exact same thing.
Oh.
Okay? Yes.
Did you get negative 1?
Yeah.
Is that 1? Are you guys sure of that? Because
I got it like
Yeah, we both got -6.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong answer. That's how I got -1, by looking at the wrong answer.
Okay, I want to go crazy today.
Yes. You got -2 for C. I got -2. I think it's -2. I think you guys are steering me wrong. This is -2. Yeah, so this should be +4 cosine theta. That's where I made my mistake. That should be +4 cosine theta. That's why it's -2. Because you have to distribute this negative and makes it positive. And so that is -2. Yes.